press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, welcome back to your social science class. We are going to continue the lesson that we left behind, social and religious reform movements. I gave you a long introduction in the previous class, I know, but it was needed, okay? You must know certain things, and that's how we learn. That's how we share knowledge. So I would want you to also explore certain things that you don't know. And when you explore, you gain knowledge, and gaining knowledge is never a loss, okay? Whatever you learn is never a loss. It will help you somewhere or the other. What we had discussed in the previous classes was a kind of awakening for you, a kind of opening your mind into understanding what was there and what have we been thinking for a very long time now. Now, today we are going to move on to a small introduction that was remaining, and to the Brahmos Samaj by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and we'll follow into the Young Bengal movement. Now, I have read the lesson and I find nothing difficult in it, okay? So, you will find nothing difficult in it, so will you know. So, you will also not find difficult, because reading, I have emphasized on reading, and you must not read it only once, twice, thrice, 4 times, okay, as many times as you can, and that's how you register it. Mark and keep the important points that are required. Now, what was remaining in the introduction in the previous classes are different movements that have been done by the social reformers. Now, social reformers were people who have contributed to the society and made the society better. They have tried to strive and bring a change in the society, reformation, okay, that is a change in the society that they wanted to see. They didn't like how they were functioning as a community together. They didn't like violence, rather they wanted peace and love. All right. So, what was just remaining in this is, what are the factors that they contributed on, or what are the problems that they concentrated on are, one is sati system, okay. What was sati system? The wife will have to jump into the funeral pyre of the husband when her husband dies off, but she cannot remain as a widow, okay. She cannot remove a widow and widower, okay. Widow is if the husband dies, the wife becomes the widow, and if the wife dies, the man becomes the widower, all right. Now, that practice was not accepted. It was prevalent at that time, it was present, but later when people came into changing the society, they didn't like this system of the wife jumping into the fire of her husband and killing herself, okay. But she had a life to live, she had a life to enjoy. Death cannot be stopped, but that was concentrated by certain reformists who came. Another issue like caste system and gender discrimination. Caste system is still prevalent in our society. People are not open to understanding that everybody is important in their own way. We have a lot of reservations that are to be done. We have people always ask your caste. Now, simple for that matter, you go and fill any kind of form, okay, maybe your school application or any kind of form. Caste and religion is always asked. I don't understand the point of why they ask caste and religion, yet in order to discriminate there, okay. Likely if you are going into any institution, or if you are going into any government application that you have to fill, or any form that you fill, your religion has to be mentioned. What is the need? You question yourself, what is the need for me to tell which religion I belong to? Or what is the need for me to write in that application which religion I belong to? What has my religion got to do with the work that I am doing? Okay, now reservations, if I have to talk to, there are categories, we do categories, isn't it? SC and STs, OBCs, minorities, and whatever it is. And you're selected based on that, but not selected based on your performance. But my performance, say, I want you to think on this, students. Will you, now if you have gone for an interview, okay, if you've gone for an interview and you have performed well, but you didn't get selected just because you belong to, you didn't belong to a minority caste, okay, and you were belonging to the general category. It happens with most of us. You belong to the general category, whereas reservations which were done for the minorities was given, though their performance was not good. You may have come across or heard of it, though may not have experienced it, but in the future years you are going to experience it. So I want you to think today itself why it's happening. What should matter? What should matter? Your performance should matter rather than which caste or which religion you belong to. Now I have given my best, or he or she has given her best, and they have the right to go there. Now if you take up, I'll take an example of teaching itself. Teaching or any other profession, you need to have passion for it. You need to like your profession. You need to have the skills to do it. If I am told to do something of carpentry, I may not be able to do it because that's not my skill. I have trained myself in certain skills which I am not trained in that. But if there is a carpenter and if you tell him, he will do his best than me. And I must appreciate him, isn't it? I cannot be telling, just because I belong here, you give me that, when I don't know that kind of a job. Rather, I should appreciate him because he knows it. And I should give him the job, not me. Correct? So this was also prevalent at that time. It's still prevalent. I don't know when it is going to end. So this is going on. Protests and other discussions are going on to cancelling reservations, and reservations have to be cancelled. Everybody should be looked on to equally, whatever it is. It'll go on and on and on. It'll never stop. We don't know when the full stop is going to come. Next was restrictions on widow remarriage. That is, after the husband has died, the woman was not allowed to remarry, not allowed to take her decisions, okay? Restrictions were put that she could not marry. Now we stay in an open world. It is open for a remarriage. They have, the woman can decide what she would like to do, or the widow can decide what she wants to do. Denial of education to the Shudras and other lower communities. Denial of education system, because they didn't want the Shudras to come up to their level. They didn't want the Shudras or the lower communities to understand certain facts, and they knew who that upper caste people thought that if they study, if the people of the lower caste study and get educated, they will be equal to us. They will learn what we have learned, okay? And they will know things that we know. Now what is the basis of keeping them low? We have a difference that we don't know. The upper caste thought they were intellectuals. The lower caste thought that they thought lower caste didn't know anything. And that is why they didn't want to give them education, because they thought that if they get educated, then they will be in par with us, they will be equal to us, and when they get equal, we will have or we will lose our rights. Who is we? Upper caste. Okay? Now, see, most of the experiences that are there, this kind is not prevalent. Yet in some remote areas, in some places you can still find it, where the girl is married off at a very early age, not thinking that she is not fit for studying, but confined to the kitchen. Okay, we will have to question the society, we will have to question ourselves as to why we do this to the girls. Why are we getting them married so soon? Is a daughter burden to the house? Okay, is the daughter the burden to the house, or will the parents' responsibility get over once they marry off the daughter? Now the whole concept of having the girl child, the parents start worrying, because they will have to accumulate wealth, a lot of wealth. Dowry system was present. Now you cannot give dowry, rather you cannot take dowry also. Accumulate wealth so that they give it to the boy who is coming, and then they send off the daughter. With that, the parents think their responsibility is over. I am talking about the remote areas here, okay, not on a wider society. Big cities have different thoughts, but there are people, still conservative families yet there, who don't think that a girl child is an equal blessing as a boy. Okay, so times are changing. At that time it was very difficult for women to get along, but there were certain women whom we are going to study and how she came out and how she tried to make the best use of everything. Now, okay, who are we going to study? We are going to study Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, okay, Rana Day, Jyotiba Phule, Swami Vivekananda, Annie Besant, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Perrier and Narayan Guru. Okay, these started different movements, and through these movements they gave a lot of change into the society. They made people realize what is happening and what shouldn't be happening. Okay. Now, what they focused on is social evils, okay, what was happening in the society. Something wrong that was happening, negative that was happening in the society, these people focused on that and they wanted to prohibit all those things through certain laws. That is, bring certain laws and tell people that you are not supposed to do it. Especially, an example I give you, dowry system. Dowry, you are not allowed, anybody takes or anybody asks, then you can file a complaint against them. You are not supposed to give, rather you are not supposed to ask also. But there are families who are very, very conservative and they still ask. I have seen, it's my own experience, I have seen certain families who demand certain things from the girl's family, okay, like in terms of money, in terms of property, people have been demanding. Though our rules are present, our laws are there, it's not that stringent is what I believe, okay, it's not very strict. It's made just for the purpose of making, it's made, yes, but certain places, those people who know about it, those who know everything about it, then if you meet them, you are into trouble. But if you go and meet the people who don't know about all these things, you can easily fool them. So this is the concept of the Indian society. People just want to fool each other, but rather in one place they'll get caught or by one person who will know all these measures, who will know all these things, that I can give a complaint, that person will be put into bars or taken action on, okay, people will know. So now we'll move to Brahmos Samaj by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. That is the first one, okay. Now what I suggest you to do in this is make up a story. Whatever is there, make up a story. Now we'll just discuss it, then maybe I'll just give you a gist of how to make the story and you make the story so that you remember better. Now I told you, you make it less, you remember better. Now if you make the entire lesson into a story, then there is no need to read the lesson at all. Alright? So this is Brahmos Samaj by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Okay, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Now, just a second, 1772 to 1833. Okay. Now, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he has done a lot of reformation, okay, a lot of change then. Now this word reformation is going to continuously come in the lesson because that's what we are dealing with. So reformation, a change, that a different view of what was happening. He was very interested in doing it and he's considered wonderful for what he has done. Now he had knowledges in languages of Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic literature, okay. These are the three kinds of literature that he had, whereas he was also interested in learning Hebrew to read the Bible. Then he was also interested in reading the Quran, and he was a member, or he had a lot of knowledge of the Hindu philosophical critique. He was well versed in Hindu philosophical critic, that is thoughts of Hinduism, okay. He didn't discriminate on religion. He used to read the Bible, he used to read the Quran, he used to read Hindu philosophical thoughts also, okay. So he had a wide area to know the teachings of all these three major religions. He had a broader understanding of knowing what it is, all right. Then he learned Hebrew and Greek to read the Bible, and with that you can make out that he had an interest for a lot of things. He had interest to learn many things. Now he learned about the philosophy of Hinduism. He was very interested in reading the Quran. Rather, he also learned Hebrew and Greek to read the Bible. So his search for knowledge, that urge for knowledge was there. Just like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had it. We have studied it. He was an voracious reader and he had that thirst for knowledge. Same was like with Raja Ram Mohan Roy, okay. Then he started the Atmiya Sabha. Okay, Atmiya Sabha in Calcutta. Atmiya Sabha in Atmiya, near me, okay. Atmiya Sabha, it's a Hindi word, I think, yeah, Atmiya Sabha. Atmiya is a Hindi word, right? Atmiya Sabha in Calcutta along with his friends. Now, what did they do with this Atmiya Sabha was they wanted to stop or eradicate. Eradicate is completely vanish what? Socio-religious problems, okay, socio-religious illnesses that were there. That is, we are fighting in the society on the base of our religion. We still see it. I don't want to take the name of the religions, but you well know it. There are violences. You see in the TV, you see in the newspapers, people are fighting. Where are they fighting? In the society. Socio-religious maladies, okay, maladies is the word given in your textbook. Ailments, that is sickness, that is problems that are there. Now, where they wanted to do this? They saw there was a lot of problem in the society and a lot of problem with people who belong to different religions, alright. And that is how they wanted to eradicate it, stop it from the society in Bengal, alright. Then, after that, in 1828, he started Brahmos Samaj. So 1828, what did he do? He started the Brahmo Samaj, alright. Now, what did he want to do in Brahmo Samaj? He wanted to get into Hinduism and he wanted to remove the caste system that was there and the superstitious beliefs, the Varna system that was there, okay. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, okay. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Shudra was considered very low. There is one more, Panchama, I have told you, okay, very low. And he wanted to remove this kind of Varna system and the caste system that was there, considering our philosophy to be great. He wanted to get into Hinduism and tell them this is not going to happen, okay. So he wanted to take away the superstitious beliefs. Superstitious beliefs are one example I can give you, but maybe not related, but a little outside from what it is, just to make you understand what is superstitious. Now if they say if the cat is crossing, if a black cat is crossing your path, it's bad luck. That is a superstitious belief. Oh, a cat is black in color, what can be done? Nothing can be done, okay. Then another one is, I have always heard, don't give the broom in the hand, but you have to put it down and the next person has to pick it from the floor, okay. Don't cut your nails at night. Then Okay, so these kind of, I cannot recall anymore, but these kind of superstitious beliefs. There were other superstitious beliefs also, that certain things are not good in the house, or certain women are bad luck to the families and all these things. Okay, so he wanted to get into, through this he wanted to get into Hinduism and tell them that caste system and superstitious beliefs have to be removed. Now Rajaram Mohan Roy, and along with his Brahmos Samaj, okay, he wanted to bring out and form a new Hindu society based on the philosophy. Okay, he wanted to form a new Hindu society based on the philosophical ideas of the Upanishads. Okay, based on the idea of Upanishads, he wanted to form a new Hindu society based on what? Upanishads. Based on Upanishads, he wanted to form a new Hindu society through his Brahmo Samaj. Now, that time the Governor General was William Bentinck. Okay, Governor General was William Bentinck. Now, what did Governor General William Bentinck do is in 1829, okay, he brought a law that said we will prohibit the sati system. What was the law? In 1829, William Bentinck, the Governor General, brought out a law that we are going to prohibit sati system. Okay. Then Rajaram Mohan Roy, he tried to bring in feeling of oneness with people. Okay, he made people understand that you must think, okay, rationally you must think on certain things, and that is how he made people aware of certain things that are happening through journalism. He used his tool of journalism and he made people that they have to think rationally. That is, logically you think of what is happening. Now, before Governor General Bentinck brought sati system, prohibiting a law prohibiting sati system was prevalent. Sati system was there. How did people come to know? They discussed together, and that is how they bought it. And that is how Mohan Roy used his tool of journalism. He started a journal named as Samvada Kaumudi. Okay, Samvada Kaumudi. In Bengali. Okay, this is in Bengali. So our pronunciation may also be wrong because I don't know Bengali. Okay, so our pronunciation may be also wrong, but you know it. Okay, Samvada Kaumudi. That was in Bengali. So this was a journal that he brought, and through this he made people realize that what are they thinking and how they should be thinking, what are the problems in the society, what kind of solutions can they get for the society. Now, we will go into the important aspects of what Brahmos Samaj thought. That is, what were the features or what were their ideas of the Brahmos Samaj. First one is they advocated monotheism. Now, if you remember your 9th standard lesson, Christianity and Islam, monotheism was a word there. Okay, if you can remember, just flashback in your brain, if you can remember what was monotheism. Monotheism meant belief in one God, isn't it? Belief in one thing. What is the opposite? Polytheism. Similar words like that, monogamy and polygamy. Monogamy is one husband, one spouse, one wife. Polygamy is many. So monotheism and polytheism. So what did Brahmos Samaj advocate? Brahmos Samaj advocated aspects such as monotheism. Sorry. Monotheism, belief in one God, belief in one thing, one, not many. Okay. Second one is opposed to meaningless rituals. Opposed, that is, said no to meaningless rituals which didn't have any sort of meaning. Sometimes some traditions we do in the house, if we ask our parents why we are doing that, no, it is the tradition, we have to do. Why we are doing it, nobody gives you an answer. Okay, some things that we do, now if you have followed the traditions and the festivals in your house, some things that we do have no meaning at all. When we try to find meaning, nobody gives us an answer. So certain things were prevalent. One was meaningless tradition, one was sati. Sati system was one such meaningless situation, meaningless ritual of the wife jumping into the fire of the husband. Why should she take away her life? Okay, that was a meaningless thing. Then Parda system was very prevalent. Devdasi system. Okay, women were sold into the temples. Devdasi system. Okay. Then third one was every person should live with dignity and no law or ritual should violate this provision. That is, everybody should get their own importance. Everybody should feel wanted. They must get their respect, they must get their dignity. Anybody, every person in the society, pick everybody. They should have their dignity, they should have their respect. Okay. And no law or ritual should violate this provision. No law should say that we will not give dignity to the minorities, or ritual should not say we are not going to give them food. No, not like that. But every person should be treated equally. I mentioned to you in the previous class, people of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they still follow it. Okay, I have seen it. They still follow it. They don't come and sit inside your house. They don't take food in their plates. That is a belief that they have. But what is important from our side is we give them the dignity that they want. I'm sorry. We give them the dignity that is needed. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy said everybody should get that respect and no ritual or no law should violate that, should spoil it. They should not go against it. The fourth one is they wanted equality for women, okay, by opposing polygamy. That is, opposing polygamy is a husband marrying many wives. He used to marry only one wife, okay. They opposed to this practice of a man marrying many women and giving the dignity to the woman of having her alone, okay. Then they also said that a woman or a widow should also get the share in the property of the husband. Okay. Now, once the husband dies, the woman should not be left alone saying that she doesn't belong to our family. No, she has to get a share. She has all rights of the husband's family also. This is what was believed. Then it opposed child marriage, that children are not supposed to get married. Now we don't see a lot of child marriage, but I told you in the previous class, 18 and 19 for me is still child marriage. Okay, we don't see it much and it's not allowed in the society now. There are laws for it. Child marriage is also opposed here because that time when he was present, it was very much there and they didn't want it because children have to grow, children have to learn certain things. Marriage is not something that should happen so early to children. So that's what they opposed. Then Brahmos Samaj said, you can learn good things from anywhere. Okay, it's left to you. You want to take it and learn good from it, it is left to you. He said every aspect that is there in our life teaches us something. Okay, and he wanted to use the principles of the Vedas and the Upanishads. Okay. Then he, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also open to good thoughts of the West. We are in East, okay, West is the other side, the foreign countries. He was also open to their thoughts. They were much fast forward than what we are. We are still developing. We are not a developed country. We are developing. Okay, when that developing, ing will stop, I don't know, but we are still developing. Okay, but the other countries there are developed. So he was open to taking those thoughts. Then he understood the importance of English education. English was, now I told you we cannot be blaming the British for it. They have given us a beautiful language, we speak and use it. Now Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also emphasizing on English education at that time. Then he wanted Indians to take the ideas of the Europeans, to take their values, to take their traditions, to understand the thinking process, especially with the intellectual thoughts. He wanted them to open their minds, just like the Europeans did. The thinking, the fast forward thinking, the future thinking that they did, Raja Ram Mohan Roy wanted people to think here also. Then he had supported schools to be built, okay, establishment of schools, and one college, that is Vedanta College in Calcutta. Then Rabindranath Tagore, he has called Raja Ram Mohan Roy as the harbinger of modern India. Okay, understand this word. It may be a new word for you, okay. Harbinger, okay, harbinger, okay. Okay, harbinger of modern India, and another word, progenitor, okay, progenitor. Now, harbinger is like a model, like an inspiration. He had a person who had a lot of good thoughts, okay. Like he was, harbinger is like a sign, okay. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was considered as a sign of the modern India, like an ambassador. Now, the cricket team has an ambassador. Then Save Tigers, there is a campaign, there is an ambassador for it. That is, who are speaking on that behalf. So Raja Ram Mohan Roy was also considered as an harbinger of modern India. That is, he was considered a good sign for the modern India that was coming, and a progenitor of Indian social reformation movement. Progenitor is like a parent, okay. Someone who is taking on the role, a parental role that is there, okay, an ancestor who is considered progenitor, okay. Now, I would like to read the sentence for you, listen here. Rabindranath Tagore has called Raja Ram Mohan Roy as the harbinger of modern India, progenitor of Indian social reformation movement, and the prophet of Indian nationalism. So, he is given, Rabindranath Tagore has given him 3 titles: as a sign of modern India, as an ancestor of social reformation, and the prophet of Indian nationalism. Prophet is considered as a person who is giving you life, good values. A prophet of Indian nationalism, that is, how much of unity and how much of dignity we need to have in our country, nationalism. Now, when Tagore said all this, in all these 3 aspects that he gave him, he summarized the whole life of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his contribution to the Indian Reformation. Alright. Now, I will stop at this. I will tell you how to do the story in the next class. Okay. Read this much. In the next class, we will move on to the Young Bengal movement. Alright. Read this much and the introduction as well. See you students in the next class. Thank you very much for listening.